Hey Photography Mafia, in this DxO PhotoLab tutorial we're going to take a look at the control point, how it works, how you can apply it to mask your photos and see if it can improve your workflow. So let's get started. This photo I took it in Jasper National Park in Canada. This is Malign Lake. Anyways, I'll go to the local adjustments palette here. And this is the control point. So before I select the control point, I'm just going to go to this photo and go to the one-to-one view so we can see a better preview and see the image is a little bit sharper than it actually is at the fit view. So going back to the one-to-one view, we can take a look at this image. It's a little bit lacking in color, a little bit lacking in contrast, and so forth. So we can make this image pop a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do now is select the control point. So now I have the control point selected. We have a few options for the mask here, the black and white or the color overlay. We also have the helper tool or the shortcuts for the control point masking. And then we also have the additive mask or the additive control point or the subtractive control point if we want to remove an area. So how does the control point actually work? So to better demonstrate this, I'm going to select a few options here. First, I'm going to select this roof here. I'm going to click on it and you can see the control point masked or mainly selected the top of the roof, a little bit of the structure or the walls here, and then a little bit less of the area out here. So the control point selects the mask or sets up the mask depending on the contrast, brightness, and color of the pixels around this area here. Or you can say luma and chroma pretty much. I can move around this control point if I want and select a different area. Just like that. I can change the size of this control point just like that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the size around this size here because I want to select mainly the roof. And what I can do is to add more control points, I can just select somewhere else on the image. You can see I accidentally selected another control point here or made one. But I'll just move that and then I will add this here and I'll add this around here. Now if I want, I can remove some of these masking areas right here that have a less or lower density by clicking right here, and then I can just click here, here, and here. I can change the size of these if I want, just to subtract from this mask, just like that. And then of course I can move it around. And I'm just going to go back to the additive control point mask. And if I want to use the keyboard shortcut, I can select the Alt or Option key to go to the subtractive control point, just like that. You can see the minus sign on the control point overlay. So I have this selected. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of, let's say, micro contrast just to make this image pop here. So we can see it adjusted the roof. I'm going to click on close here. You can see I have this control point selected. And then I'm going to hide it. And now you can see how the roof looks. And now I'm going to show it again. And what I will do actually is I'll add a little bit of saturation and I'll add a little bit of vibrancy here. And just like that, let's see the before and after. So already this image looks a little bit better just with the roof here. I think I'll add a little bit more global or regular contrast here. Now, while I have this control point still selected, I'm just going to rename it to subject. And I like these canoes right here. So I'm going to select these canoes and add it to this subject mask or this subject control point. So I'm going to select the control point again. I'm going to click here. I'm going to reduce the size of these. I can show the mask. I can also show the color overlay of the mask if I want, but I think the black and white looks a little bit better. I'll select this. I'll select that. So I have these red canoes selected. I'll have these dark green canoes selected as well. Just like that. That looks good. And I'll hold the optional Alt key and click here to remove this area. Just like that. Just like that. That, and that. Of course, I can use different types of masking tools or brushes to select or improve this image, but this is a control point tutorial, so I just want to show you how I'm just working with this to make this image look better. Now I'm going to hide this mask and we can see the before and after. So we added a subtle adjustment to the canoes as well, including the top of the roof here. Now let's take a look at the before and after comparison view, just like this. No, not like that. Let me go back to this side-by-side view. This one right here. And actually I have to zoom out, go to the fit view to make it look better. So this is the before and this is the after. Now what I want to do is I want to select this area here. So I'm going to select a new control point. I'm going to click on this add button here. And then I'm going to select this area here, here, here. I'm going to decrease it here, change the size. And now I can change the threshold or the range of this mask by using the chroma, which is color, or luma, which is brightness or luminance. So I'm just going to decrease it like this and decrease it like this, just the range. I'm increasing the sliders, but it's decreasing their mask range here. And then I will add a few negative points, just like that. And I accidentally added an additive point. So let me just undo this by Control Z a few times. That looks better. And that looks good. So now I'm just going to add some saturation here. We'll increase the vibrancy, increase the saturation. So now this grass is looking a lot better. I'll increase the micro contrast. So I like this leading curve here going to this subject. One thing I don't like is this area here. If I try to crop it away, it'll remove this curve here. So I'd rather not crop this image. But what I can do is, let me just change the name of this to grass. And I'm just going to make this bottom left corner a little bit darker. So I'm going to add here and then select this point just like that. Decrease the chroma slider here. And let's see if that does anything, or I'll increase it actually. And that looks good. And now I'll decrease the exposure of this bottom left corner. That looks a little bit better. I'll put bottom left corner. Okay. And now I want to add a little bit of focus on these mountains in the background. So I'll click add here. Wait, let me just get out of there. Let me click add. Now I'll select this. And I'll select this. Just like that. I'll increase the contrast. And I'll increase the micro contrast. So I will close this image now. Let's take a look at the before and after. So this is before and this is after. Actually, one thing I can do is remove this blemish. It's actually a house here. So let me actually go back to this, zoom in here. It's like a cottage and an antenna or a post. I'll go to this cleanup tool here, make sure I'm on repair. I'll just brush this away like that. Let's see if it selected a good source. It looks like it did. I'm gonna add that there too. I will close this, go to the fit view, see how it looks. So now it looks a lot better. Now I'll go to this split view here. This image still looks a little bit dark. So what I'm gonna do is I will go to the tone curve right here. And I'm going to increase the midtones, just brighten up the midtones a little bit. Now this image looks a little bit better. What else I can do maybe is I'll go to the temperature, just make it a little bit warmer, just like that. And then I'll go to the effects palette. I'll do the classic vignette here. Let's say I'll keep it at -16. So this is the before and after. So what do you guys think of this image? Maybe I should give it a crop, but I wanted to demonstrate the control point. Let's see how many control points I added. I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It looks like I added an extra one by accident, did I? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 4 is the correct amount. So anyways, what do you guys think about this photo? If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. And as always, live easy, sleep breezy, and stay lovely.